The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Welcome back to Still a Part of Us. We have had a wonderful conversation with Sonja. She told us about her sweet boy Benji, and it was really, really nice to hear about him. Sonja, thank you so much for coming back on and chatting with us again today.
It's an absolute pleasure, actually, to be able to tell Benji's story. As I was just saying before, it's not often you get to tell your whole story and you filter what you think the recipient, I guess, wants to hear, don't you?
Yeah. Completely. And we were just chatting about this, and I was like, it is really hard to tell your baby's entire story. So glad that you were able to do that. And I'm sure that there were things that we missed, and so so maybe we can share some of it today during this episode. So thank you again. I do want to ask, can you tell us a little bit about what happened to Benji, just in a nutshell, and how long ago at the time of this recording was he born?
Sure. So we lost Benji and he was 34 and 6 days. And we don't have any definitive reason as to why we lost Benji. It all just happened relatively suddenly. Had a midwife appointment one day. 2 days later, he had passed.
Yeah.
And so coming up September this year will be 2 years. So we're sort of 1.5 to 2 years.
Yeah.
Post, which is just crazy because
right?
Yeah, time is a funny thing when I think a big event happens.
Yeah.
It just seems like it was the other day, and then in some instances you're like, oh, that was a long time ago, you know?
Yeah.
It's very unusual.
Yeah, it really does mess with your brain. And you're right. Your internal clock, you're like, something that was weird. It was it messes with you.
I think the first sort of 6 months after you lose sense of time, I felt I lost sense of time for those initial, had no sort of, and then all of a sudden I'm at 2 years. And I think, oh, how did
that happen?
How did that happen? Yeah.
It's nuts. So, Sonja, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on how that grief has changed over this year and a half. So one of the things that I was delighted to find out was that you and your family are farmers. And so I was just thinking about that the other, after we signed off earlier, I was like, I wonder if she got any time to grieve. Sometimes we're like, we got a maternity leave or we got family leave so that for this kind of big thing, but farming doesn't stop. If I'm not mistaken, that is happening.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot all the time. So can you tell us how that grief looked like in the first few months, how you and your husband handled that and your girls, and then how it's kind of changed and evolved over time?
Yeah, if I think back now, I don't know how I did it. I sort of started going back to work it was only about week 2.
Oh.
And it was purely just to keep myself busy.
Okay.
But I mean, we're self-employed, so it was doing, picking and choosing what I was doing. But I think back now and I think but I think that got me out of the house.
Yes.
If I'm honest.
Yeah.
It just gave me something else to focus on. And one thing I remember at the start, I absolutely dreaded bumping into people or perhaps meeting people that I might know through the farm, through businesses that wouldn't have heard what happened, but would know, oh, last time I saw her, she was pregnant. I wonder how they got, that I really dreaded that. And probably, the first 6 months were a bit of a blur. That first month you're just purely running on, I don't know what it is.
Yep.
Your brain's kicked into sort of a bit of survival mode, isn't it? And I found sort of probably month 4 onwards were quite hard for me. I think,
Oh,
my brain had sort of let me filtered back in, I guess, what had happened, and I just felt that those months really felt like they kicked me.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and I guess as time's gone on, the grief it certainly changes, and you as milestones perhaps go on, or you see other children that would be a similar age. Yeah, you think, oh gosh, Benji would be doing that
Yeah.
now. It is hard. Yeah. I mean, I see a lot about the grief not changing in size, but your life morphing around it. And I think that's
Mm,
true.
yes.
You don't miss them any less by any means.
No.
It might even be more, because as
You're
time's gone on, you're sort of planning or thinking, thinking what would have been.
yes. I
Yeah.
I think
So,
people don't realize that we had this very big event, right? Something that was kind of big, devastating, and
mm,
kind of in your face, right? It's a little in your face because,
yeah.
but it's the quiet part of grief. I feel like are the parts where you're like, oh, a birthday just came by, or um, you know what? I love making little egg sandwiches, like little breakfast sandwiches for our kids. And my son should be sitting there eating a
Mhm.
breakfast sandwich with our other kids. Does that make sense? Like it's like the
Yes,
big
yes.
milestones, but then also I'm missing you at the
Yeah.
kitchen table, or I'm
Just
missing
the small
you,
things.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
car. Like I should be strapping you in, or you should be sitting in a booster
Yeah.
seat or whatever. And it's just, yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. It's, I mean, and also I think back at the time, I mean, how devastating it is at the time, but it's actually a really traumatic event when you
Oh,
think back,
yes,
isn't it?
completely.
And you're
Yeah.
just thrown into it. Like there's no,
Yeah. And then there's like
yeah.
the other thing that is crazy is that I mean, you were trying to just survive, right? You go back to
Mhm.
work because you're trying to get into some sort of semblance of something, normalcy. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you did survive a very traumatic event. And
Yeah.
uh,
And I remember, gosh, I remember at the start just thinking, how are we going to get through this?
uh,
Like, because no one tells you how to survive an event like this, do they? You're very much sort of thrown into it, and oh, you'll work it out.
yeah,
And somehow you do. You somehow do, don't
yeah.
you?
Very clumsily, but yeah, I guess we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How how did your husband how has he handled his grief or processed his grief versus how you have processed your grief?
I mean, probably like a lot of men, differently to
Hmm.
me, but I would say as time goes on, it's probably harder for him in the sense that he should have a son
Yeah.
there with him. He should be showing him about farming. Whereas I think for me, initially all those baby moments, and because I found him kick all the time, you sort of have that,
Yeah.
you build that little relationship with them, don't you?
Hmm.
And for the male, I mean, yes, they can feel the kicks if they catched it at the right time, but they don't quite get to learn the rhythms and stuff that we do. Yeah, so I think as time goes on, and I really feel for them when people, because we have three girls now, and people always say, oh, you don't have a son, or and it's heartbreaking. It's like, well, we do,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, and I mean, initially he threw himself back into it too. One, because we had to, but two, probably both people that like to be kept busy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's kind
yeah,
of, yeah. It is a way to sometimes work, I found, helps you uh like turn off that grieving part for just a minute. Sometimes it is nice
yeah,
to turn it off. But then also there is something about physically working. I or like
yeah. Just being physical. Yeah,
yes, that really does
yeah.
help me work through some of the bigger emotions or maybe the angry emotions.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
And so,
And I
yeah.
think it's like work was one of the only normal things that we could do or control, I guess,
Yes.
at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah, sometimes when you want to do something that you have control over, because
yeah,
when you lose a baby, you had no say in that. That was
yeah. it was just taken from you so quickly. And like I guess all the feelings and stuff from grief too, you can't control
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt good to be outside, probably.
Yeah.
Just being out with nature and yeah.
Oh, that's hard. What were some things that you did that has helped you kind of work through some of the things that have happened to you? Um, did you did you do any therapy or any support groups or anything like that that aided your progress in processing the
Yeah.
grief?
No, I didn't do any one-on-one therapy, which
Hmm.
perhaps I should have. I don't know. I found joined a baby loss support group, and it must have been. I can still remember my first time going. I was 6 weeks post, and I remember pulling up in the car park, and I thought I could drive away. Like no one knows I'm meant to be here, so what am I doing here? I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And I went in, and so the woman that facilitates the group, she lost her daughter 20 years ago.
Oh.
And she spoke about how she'd had children since. And I remember thinking, oh gosh, I am going to get through this then. Just seeing her
Yep.
so far on and talk about it with such, I guess, admiration of her daughter that she lost.
Yeah.
I thought, oh wow, there is another. I will get through this. And so, yeah, I've been still go to the same group. And I just had this draw to these people. You feel like they were there to support you at the very beginning. And as time's gone on, like other people will come on and join the group. Some people might come 2 or 3 times and then that's enough for them. And yeah, like I've connected with some amazing people through that group.
Good.
That we keep in touch all the time. And yeah, I think just for me, and like I'm probably quite a private person, but so going to that group initially, I was like, oh gosh,
What have I done?
do I really do I really want to do this? But I just still remember seeing the facilitator and thinking, oh wow, okay, I will get through this. We can get through this. Because I guess you don't know what it looks like at the start.
Nope.
You, yeah,
You had no idea this
yeah,
group even existed before, 6
100%,
weeks
yeah,
before. Yeah.
yeah. And it's interesting. Like, so you're sitting there with a bunch of women, and someone will say, "Oh, I this happened to me, or I had this thought," and you've all had the same thoughts. You realize that you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. So yeah, throwing myself into a support group has been amazing, really, and probably, I mean, over here, our closest city is an hour and a half away.
Mm.
Well, this is where Benji was born. So there's not a lot around, and I'd say like I think so. Stillbirth over here, I'm sure it happens a lot more than you hear about, but you don't hear about it much
Oh, yeah.
at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just amazed, like even like friends of ours that they might have been in their 60s, and this happened to us when we were
Oh.
having kids, and you think, how did we not know? But no one talks about it. But it's amazing the people that came forward, or my daughter, or friends of friends, and
Yeah.
yeah, you just, I felt with the group too. You just feel this connection, knowing that these other people have gone through the same thing and understand how you're feeling. Because, like friends and so forth would check in and they were amazing, but you just, again, I think you probably filter a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And you just sort of, get the feeling that perhaps they don't quite understand yeah.
We went to our first support group and we went for several months. And that was the coolest thing. We just walked in
Mm,
and we felt like they understood us. Like, because
yeah.
we're starting at the same place where we're just like, oh, okay. They have gone through the worst day of their life also. Like, and
Mm,
we get each other. And that's
yeah.
nice to feel like they understand the horror that we've been through. and
Yes.
just
Yeah.
on a very basic level. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think like I just remember even now, every time I leave the meetings, so they meet once a month, just the weight off my shoulders, I think. Because, like you probably hold a lot in over that month.
Yeah.
And just just walking out, you just feel lighter, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is it is so good. Yeah, those support groups are very helpful, and I'm glad that they have. Is it through the hospital then that you went to?
No, it's actually through the funeral home, but they open it
Oh,
up to you don't have to have used them. So
okay.
they open it up to anyone that's going through baby loss or has gone through loss. And I think, so there's a grief counsellor and she comes along monthly too. And she herself hasn't lost a child, but, she deals with loss every day.
Right.
She's great to have there. And so the facilitator, and it's funny because she says the same thing. She drove up to her first meeting and thought, oh, no one knows, like I don't have to walk in that door. And now she's running the group.
Yeah.
It's,
That is
amazing. And
it's
yeah,
blessing when people who have gone this path and have some time on them, they can share and help those who are just so
yes,
new
yeah,
and fresh. Because I remember I was like,
yeah,
I'm never going to get through this. I'm never going to
yeah,
get through this.
yeah. You think how do I survive the worst thing possible to any parent?
Yeah.
Yeah. And something that you couldn't plan for, it just happened, didn't it? Just,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I always
yeah,
kept thinking, I was like, how am I going to get there? Like where that person is. Because I
yeah.
think
And
our
I think,
facilitator was like 15 years out. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't think I'm ever going to make it that far. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Your path changes, doesn't it? I think in life when something like this happens. Yeah, I do love. I look back, I do miss how naive I was
Mhm.
before and innocent before
Mhm.
losing a baby. But yeah, I feel like your path changes a bit, and then afterwards it sort of puts some things into perspective a little bit, doesn't it?
It,
Little things
yep.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah. Little things don't
yeah.
phase me as, yeah.
No. Yeah.
And honestly, I also get really irritated when people freak out about little things. I was like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, like I find I almost lost the ability to I just sort of feel like I don't really care what people think now.
Yep.
Opinion, yeah. Yeah, it's funny you sort of just end up in your lane or your path and yeah, things keep happening around you. But you're right, you look at some things and you think it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, yeah.
Perspective, huh?
100%, yeah. Yeah.
Sonia, how have you helped your daughters cope with this grief? I know that they were little. They were pretty little
Mm.
when Benji was born. They were what, 4 and 2?
4 and 2, yeah.
Okay, so the 2-year-old probably didn't quite know much of
No,
going on, right?
no. Yeah, that's our 4-year-old. She, gosh, for probably a month after, slept with his blanket that we'd been given in the hospital, and yeah, and probably like moving forward, it is hard because they are. I mean, if you think back now, can you remember anything
When I was
from?
4? No.
Yeah, but
No.
then a traumatic event. Do you maybe?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
that's
So
a good point.
we always speak of Benji and they bring him up into conversation all the time, which is so lovely.
Yeah, so
Um,
cute.
yeah, and one thing that I just happened the other day, actually, my 6-year-old, she was at school and she said, "Oh, one of her friends said to her, 'Oh no, you don't have a brother.'" And I thought, wow, well, how's she going to navigate explaining that? But kids are very just say it like it is,
Yep.
don't they? That was one thing that blew my mind. They see their baby brother has died, and that's just how
Yeah.
yeah, they just see it for what it is. There's no sugarcoating
Yeah.
anything with them. Yeah. But we keep them in conversation. Yeah. it's funny because they do seem to go through periods of they'll mention him quite a lot, and I do wonder if it's on their mind a lot when that happens.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's also easy to forget how much of an event it would have been for them too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they briefly lost their mum and dad disappeared for a
Yep.
few days,
Yep.
and then they lost the sibling that they were going to get.
Hmm. That
Yeah.
probably is a little yes, it probably is traumatic and it's probably stuck in their brain somehow. Um, because yeah,
Mm.
as a kid, you don't understand so many things. You're like, yeah, my mom and dad left for a few days and now we don't have a little brother here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, they amazed me though, their, I guess, resilience and I guess they just accept it. They accepted what had happened,
Yeah.
whereas we were struggling to accept it ourselves.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they're amazing. I mean, kids are amazing, aren't they? They just take it on board and yeah,
They really are
yeah.
so amazing. Sonia, tell me, what are some things that people did and said to you that helped you in the past? I mean, and that could be like very shortly after your birth, a Benji, or even just now. Like, if are there things that have been like, yeah, that was good. Maybe try those
Mm.
things.
Yeah, we were very lucky. Like a lot of people, I guess, wrapped their arms around us and
Mm,
dropped off food and kept us fed. And, one thing I remember, like a friend checked in quite regularly and she'd always finish the text with, don't feel like you have to respond. And I think that's a huge weight off thinking, oh, yes, she's touched in, but I don't have to,
yeah.
yeah. And I felt like initially you're consoling other people.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
felt that, yeah. And I'm like, hang on, I'm the one that's lost the baby, but
Yes.
you feel like you're trying to put out fires and manage everyone else. So I think to have someone say, yep, we're thinking of you, but no need
Yeah.
to respond was just huge. Or we've dropped something at the door, but because you don't want to face people initially. I didn't want to see anyone. So like, oh, there's a meal at the door. We'll thinking of you.
Yeah.
That was huge. Yeah.
That
Things
you
like that were huge.
I
Yeah.
I think people don't realize how nice that is to be able to um it's so easy to help and take off this load from people that are grieving because it is a lot and we just don't have the capacity to do normal things like respond to a text
No,
message.
no, yeah. Or like people perhaps think, I'll go have a coffee with her, and you don't always want to see
Yes.
someone. Like
Yes.
it feels like a big thing having to sit down, have a conversation with someone, and yeah, like I mean, company is good sometimes, but then you also want to be alone with your thoughts too. I felt
Yes.
the time, yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's not being forced to have to connect with people,
Yes.
but you still felt like they were reaching out to you.
Yeah. And there were
Mm.
people
It
around, yeah,
was,
and surrounding you and
yeah.
just
Yeah.
thinking about you, praying for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just like I said, the amount of people that come out saying that perhaps they had something to happen to them 20 years ago or their son or yeah, you've just got no idea what people are going through or have been through, do you?
Yeah.
And I think we're so lucky that we're in a time where it's not like I read this story in New Zealand do you have SANS
Yeah,
over in America?
we don't have
Yeah. Or
sands. I just hear of sands just because it'll just show up on my because I've had a baby lost, and so but sands will
yeah.
do.
All of a
They
sudden your
yeah,
algorithm's
yep,
full with yeah.
yes, exactly. So but for those who don't know what sands is, do you want to describe what that is?
Yeah, so it's an organisation that provides support for families going through baby loss. Now, we don't have it in our closest city, but it's a nationwide organisation. And I saw the story the other day, and one of their members had passed away, and I think she was 90 or just turned 90, and
Oh,
she had written, or the woman that had written the post had said when so-and-so came forward when she lost her baby, she never got to see her baby.
Yeah.
When this baby was born, the baby was taken away. No one spoke of it. Her parents didn't speak of it. Her and her husband didn't speak. And she said it was like it never happened.
Yeah.
And she said, when I found this group, this must have been 50 years after the birth, she finally got to talk about her baby again. And I thought, like, we are lucky that people are willing to listen and it's not a taboo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does break my heart when you hear of how stillbirth was viewed or treated back in the day. And I'm sure there were different reasons, but it was so taboo. And one of the things that is so surprising to me on our YouTube channel is that we get comments from moms that had a loss 20, 30, 40 years ago, and they're just sharing it in the comments of what happened to their baby because they never got to talk about their baby. And so
no, I can't imagine it. Yeah.
So it is a blessing to be able to do that in this day and age.
Yeah. And like in response to that comment, actually one woman, similar sort of story, had wrote that one of the nurses that cared for her actually went down to the morgue and snuck a photo, like a Polaroid photo of the baby, and gave it to this mother. And she said that was the only time I got to see my baby, and she had to keep that photo hidden though.
Yeah, because it wasn't.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it? That I mean, it's a hard enough thing to process and get through yourself.
Yeah,
I think you wouldn't be allowed to view or hold or talk about your baby.
Yeah,
just
it's so grateful for now the time we live.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And Sonja, on the other side of things, were there any things that people said or did that was a little bit hard for you as a lost mom that you would maybe suggest others maybe not say it? I know that people are well-meaning, but I'm just curious if there's anything that maybe rubbed you the wrong way. You're like, ooh.
Didn't have any comments no comments, but one thing I found hard with the two children, because they were at kindergarten at the time, it's more the people that don't say anything. Like,
yes,
you feel like you've got the sign above your head, but everyone's sort of steering clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's I think, but then I also like to think, I hope if I was in their situation, that I would feel confident enough, even just to say, I heard about Benji.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry, or I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, people purely probably don't want to say anything because they don't want to upset you, but you're already upset. You're already thinking about your baby all the time. Yeah.
You're not going to make us
afraid
any
to,
sadder.
No. Yeah. Because it does feel like the elephant in the room, doesn't it? Yeah. And I'll never forget, we had an event at the kindergarten, and obviously there were a lot of pregnant women there because everyone's in similar age. And I remember talking to one of their mothers, and I swear I could see it on the tip of her tongue. She wanted to say, "I'm so sorry," but she didn't. And I was like, this is the weirdest interaction I've had. Like, it was, she didn't mention it, but you could almost see she wanted to, but didn't know how to approach it. And I just think, don't be afraid to, or even ask, what did you call your baby? Or
so simple. It's so simple.
Yeah.
And I always encourage people, because I think a lot of it has to do with people are just fearful that they're going to say the wrong thing. They're going to make you sad. They're going to, they
remind
don't know
you.
Remind you. And I was like, we're thinking about her baby.
Yeah,
I mean, like, don't worry. Don't you worry. But it is nice to be able to, like, have some, I don't know. I think there's just simple things that people can say. You can say, I'm sorry. Like, I like what you said. I heard about your son. Tell me his name. And those were such easy things to do. And you'd be surprised at how maybe the mom will not want to talk about their baby, but there's a lot of times that we do want to talk about our baby.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure the person having to say or ask about the baby would be a hard thing, but I guarantee both parties will feel a lot better
Yes.
having said something.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine you walk away and you think, oh gosh, I should have mentioned.
Yeah.
Why didn't I ask? But yeah, I guess don't be afraid to even just say, I heard about your baby, or I heard about what happened. I'm very sorry. Or yeah, I think being able to say their name, isn't it? Because we don't always.
Yes.
Yeah, get to say their name. Yeah.
And here's another thing that I have found is that there were times when I just couldn't not cry. So I think people need to be okay with some tears. Like, we're going to cry
Yeah,
probably.
yeah,
We just
yeah.
got to be comfortable with that, right?
It just happens, doesn't it? Like I said back in that previous episode, I just remember the tears just came.
Yeah.
Like you can't. They just do. You can't stop them. They just seem to.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
just come, and because you
Yeah.
love your baby and your baby's not there with you, and so I feel like if you approach it and just kind of just know that there might be tears and it's okay. Just be okay with it.
Yeah.
Put an
Yeah.
arm on the shoulder and that will be fine. Like,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know?
And then almost, they don't have to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry for making you cry." It's I guess it's just showing that you thought about them, you thought about their baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not trying to
I
solve
mean,
any problems or anything like that because the
no.
problem can't be solved. So
Yeah. 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 The worst things happen. You're not going to make them feel any worse.
yeah.
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 So, Sonja, I have really appreciated this time and your thoughts and your experience. And I know that we talked earlier, and then you said that you had a poem that you found and you really loved. And I'm wondering, would you share that with us as we close up our conversation today?
I would absolutely love to. So this is by a New Zealand poet called Jessica Urlichs, and she has a few books out, and they're all about motherhood. But she shares one, and she says that every October for baby loss awareness, and it's the most beautiful poem. And it's called "One Day We'll Be Together." You held me for a while, but you are my forever. And every dream I dream, it's you and I together. I see you crying sometimes. It rains up here then too. I know you miss me, mummy, but I live on in you. I live on in your memories where we often meet. I live on in your heart with every brave and loving beat. I'm singing in the sunsets. I'm catching every kiss. So live your life for me for the stories that I've missed. And I'll be waiting for you where the seasons never fade. You'll be much older and I will not have changed. No matter how much time has passed, I know that loving smile, and I'll run into your arms, the ones that held me for a while. One day we'll be together, so mummy, please don't cry. Just look for me at night, shining for you in the sky. Yeah, I think it's just so lovely. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, because that is so sweet. Because, yeah.
It's I guess it sort of goes back to that. I mean, how brave to put out a poem about baby loss, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And the amount of comments, like when she shares this poem on it, and you just think, wow, there is a lot of people out there that resonate with that poem, and yeah.
That is beautiful. It's so, so beautiful. Sonja, thank you so much again for coming on, for sharing Benji with us. And I am so grateful for you being willing to get up so early. You guys, it's like 3:30 in the morning for her. So thank you very much. And then just also sharing your heart and being vulnerable and sharing something that was pretty raw and still fairly new for you. So thank you again.
Oh, I'm sure everyone says to you, but I just can't thank you enough. Like I remember that's actually one thing I did after. I just listened to podcasts. I found your podcast, and I don't know how many hours I spent listening to it initially. But you think, oh wow, okay, there is a lot of stories out there. Yeah, it was amazing. It truly was.
It's our privilege to do that. So, but
Yeah.
seriously, thank you so much, Sonja.
Oh no, thank you.